The Detroit Lions head into the 2023 NFL season as heavy favorites to win the NFC North, and we are also favorited to kind of win the NFC as well. That would be something that I haven't seen since I started middle school 30 years ago. How crazy is that? It would be great to see the Detroit Lions do that this year. Good things are on the horizon for the Detroit Lions. They are in good hands since Sheila Hemp took control of the organization and put the right people in place, those people being Chris Spielman, Dan Campbell, and Brad Holmes. And they have tough decisions to make. They have to bring the right people on to the roster, and they've been doing just that. Although sometimes we might not understand, they're doing just that. In this video today, we talked about Quinnen Williams yesterday and the possibility of the Detroit Lions trading for him. He is under contract with the New York Jets, and a trade would have to be in place. But there is a free agent on the market right now, a seasoned veteran who could potentially help the Detroit Lions. His name is Frank Clark, and according to Heavy.com, they say that one of the best remaining fits for Frank Clark is the Detroit Lions. Frank Clark, after being released by the Kansas City Chiefs, is as a bit of a cap casualty early this offseason, offers the rare opportunity for a team to add a dynamic talent at a key position, who also brings a championship pedigree with him. Clark, who has 2 Super Bowl rings on his fingers, has appeared in 3 Pro Bowls, and at the age of 29 still has plenty of thread left on the tires. Last season, Clark produced 6 sacks and 45 total pressures as a key contributor along Kansas City front 7. Clark seems to still be the type of player who can elevate a contending defense to new heights, perhaps as a missing piece of rotation. Now, that's very interesting. Frank Clark has 2 Super Bowl rings. He's just coming off a Super Bowl, his second one with the Kansas City Chiefs. And he could bring that veteran leadership to the Detroit Lions. However, there is a bit of a caveat that we will discuss in just a little bit. So Frank Clark is out of Michigan. He was drafted in the second round, pick 63 overall to the Seattle Seahawks. And last year he had 25 solo tackles, coming off a 5-sack season with 1 forced fumble. And if you look at his career stats, this dude has pretty much played the majority of his career, not missing very many games. And his sack total is kind of up there, man. 59.5, with his highest coming in 2018 with 14. He's been a key piece for the Kansas City Chiefs, but not the difference maker per se. And he's coming off that 5-sack season for 2022. Now, when it comes to Frank Clark, I think Frank Clark would be a decent addition. He would be one of those guys that could be that veteran leader. But there is a caveat that comes along. He's been in some trouble. He last had some trouble that I'm not going to mention in this video, but you guys can look it up. And that's the thing about Frank Clark. Would he be worth the risk when it comes to coming to the Detroit Lions? Brad Holmes did not draft Jalen Carter for reasons that I believe had to do a lot with character. And Frank Clark could have some of those concerns. But Brad Holmes did say with Jalen Carter that it was a case-by-case situation. Frank appears to have stayed out of trouble for the last couple of years. And if the Detroit Lions saw that he was a good fit for the organization, they would bring him in. So will the Detroit Lions pick up Frank Clark in free agency? I don't think they will. But the question that I have to you is, would he be worth the risk? For me, it really depends on how much trouble he stayed out of. I think he really could bring that championship leadership to the Detroit Lions because we don't have any of that on our roster right now. So worth the risk? I'm not sure. Only Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell really know. But I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below about what do you think. Do you think Frank Clark would be worth the risk for the Detroit Lions to bring in as part of the team? We're almost at 11,000 subscribers with the goal of getting there before the schedule release this Thursday. So if this is not your first time here, consider subscribing. I would appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.